Yeah.
We're live?
We are live.
Ready to go?
All right.
We're on.
Change the scenery.
Yeah. First on location podcast.
Yeah.
First guest.
This is your first on location?
Yeah.
we've never done
And
one
you're our
outside
first
of
guest, so
Philadelphia.
this could be
Awesome.
super awkward.
First
See?
off-site.
Talk about being honored.
Yeah, thanks for having
We're
us.
honored.
This is awesome.
Thank you for coming.
Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Oh, sure. Yeah, well, my name is Lance Applebaum. You know me for a couple of years now, so that's a good thing. We're from Fossil Farms, and we are a purveyor of farm-raised game and all natural meats.
Awesome.
Yeah. You want to know the story behind it?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I'll tell you my story, and if I go into too much of it, you just have to tell me to shut
The
up.
podcast, when we told our story, was like an hour long.
An hour
So,
So, when I was a kid growing up, okay, I called my dad the fossil. Okay, I never called him dad because it was always, you know, dad, you're back from the Stone Age. You don't understand what we're talking
think
about.
I've heard
right?
that a few times.
You've heard that a few
Yeah.
times, right? So when it came to name the business, we wanted to name it after him. But we really started this business. I was on a ski vacation with my brother back in 1995, and we were, if we can do this all over again, we'd be great ski bummers. Right? I love skiing. And we went out to a couple of restaurants, and we were just blown away that they had all these different unique meats on the menu. They had ostrich, and they had bison, and they had elk, and they had antelope. And we grew up in Paramus, New Jersey, in Bergen County. And, you know, we had a summer home in Lake Wallenpaupack, Pennsylvania, and we had a couple of horses on our property. So when it came time to eating at some of these restaurants, I'll never forget, a waitress came by the table and she said, I want you to try something that looks and tastes like beef, but that's 99% fat-free. And on this side of the plate is ostrich, and on this side of the plate is bison. So I'm like, all right, we'll give it a try. So I took my first bite of it, and I was blown away. I was blown away with how good and how clean. And I'm like, this is 99% fat-free. Now, you've never met my brother. Okay, my brother is the country boy. He's the farmer. And when we were kids growing up, it's like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he's like, I want to be a farmer. Well, how are you going to be a farmer living in northern New Jersey, right? So it was right there at dinner, you know, and we were in Breckenridge, Colorado. I'm like, you know, this is what we're going to do. He's like, what are we going to do? I'm like, you're going to raise this stuff, and I'm going to sell it. And we're going to really sell this as a healthy red meat alternative to all the restaurants. Where? Well, where do we live? We're like 15 miles away from New York City. We got Boston a couple hours north. You have Philadelphia.
Yeah, really.
And this was really behind before there was a natural food movement. And my brother and I kind of saw it as a way to educate people on healthy red meat alternatives. We didn't want this to take over the whole beef industry or the food industry, but there was a niche. There was something different. And what was really unique was we started learning more and more about how these animals are raised, what to do. And my brother took a couple of years and started working on some different farms. I took a couple of years and I started researching, talking with different chefs and saying, would you offer this into your restaurant? And what we found was that people would say yes. If it tasted good, it had a story behind it, but more importantly, it was organically grown. There's that term, which I'm sure we'll talk about. Everything we do is no hormones, no antibiotics, no steroids. It's basically the same way Mother Earth wanted it to be. That's exactly what we do. So all of our animals, everything that we do is provided that way. And when you guys get to eat it and try it, even if you don't like it, you have to tell us if you like it.
I can tell you, unfortunately, you can't get the smell quality through the camera, but already it smells.
You definitely have smell-o-vision.
we're working on it.
Unreal.
I was hungry before it started to smell good in here.
Now I'm like, oh.
Maybe that could be the next technology.
Yeah, we need to develop it.
I think definitely, like, you know, correlating to what we're doing, all of the athletes we see, I mean, they're so strict in what comes in and out of their bodies that they want the purest of the pure as far as clean eating, you know, that sort of thing. So,
I think the niche groups that you were focusing on and that we're focusing on, they overlap
I think there's a
tremendously.
big overlap with those two circles.
Along those lines, I feel like the people that we tend to see coming through our doors, they want to know where the food that they're eating is coming from.
That's a good point.
And this is a great way to do that. You can say, this comes from this farm, this comes from this farm. When you look at our modern, you know, industrialized food industry, you don't know where, a slab of beef comes from. It could have come from China.
Correct.
It could
Or
have come
Australia.
Or Australia. It could
Yeah,
have
right.
come from anywhere. And sitting in storage or, being shipped for 24 hours. At least here, it's raised
Yeah.
fairly
Yeah.
local
Humanely.
and fresh and humanely.
Yeah.
And
Sustainably.
that's the other thing too, is the ethical standards that people
Right.
are starting to hold themselves to as far as the treatment of animals.
Well,
In addition to the health benefits.
What we started finding too was not only did people want the story, it was interesting. Like people were like, "Well, what's the color of the tractor that the farmer uses?" Well, it's a green John Deere tractor. What do you want me to tell you? But it told us something. It told us people wanted to know where their food comes from. They felt good about it. They had that human standard.
The story is so important
Yes.
for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
They want to know the farmer's name. They want to see a picture of the farmer. They
Right.
want to be able to feel like they're on the farm.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
That's why a lot of supermarkets now, they have
Yeah.
those pictures
Yeah,
in their
absolutely.
meat department or in their produce department. They show a picture of some, random anonymous farmer.
Yes.
At least here, it's really that guy.
From a
Maybe-
real farmer.
Ben and I, we feel privileged because when we see different supermarkets like trying to get into this game, we're saying to ourselves, well, we've already been doing it. Like that,
Yeah.
this is our
Right.
ethical story,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of fun to see.
Not
it.
an afterthought.
No.
It's not a secondary thought.
No,
It is your
absolutely
only
not.
thought.
I think you guys you came into the market and you wanted to show, okay, this is what this product should be, this is what we stand for, and this is the level that this should be at. And I think in a similar way, that's what
Yeah.
we want to
Yeah.
do. Like
Right.
we saw, there's some people kind of all around here, but no one's really owning that and saying this is the standard, this is how things need to be done.
Correct.
And I think that's where we kind of position ourselves too in what what we're working with athletes. We
Right.
say, this is what the gold standard should be, and everyone else that kind of just
Falls below that.
Which is why I hit you up, because I figured this would be,
Yeah.
the perfect partnership as far
I think
as.
both brands, yeah, exactly. I think our ideals are very similar. Little different product that we have, but the ideals are all the same. Like,
Correct.
What would I want as an athlete? What I want as a consumer or something like that. And
Want the best.
Yeah, and stick to it.
Right.
And I think once it takes a little bit for people to understand, but once they do, they see that, and then everything else it just doesn't look the same.
Well, let me ask you a question because I've heard this, we've heard this before, time and time again, and it holds true. I think it holds true. Is it true that you are what you eat?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's true that whatever you eat and put into your body is good for you from a nutritional standpoint, right?
Absolutely.
So when we started with ostrich, people said, "You got to be crazy. What are you doing with this thing? It's a prehistoric dinosaur." So because of its health benefits and bison's health benefits and Piedmontese beef its health benefits, we went to a small place, maybe you might have heard of it, called the American Heart Association, right? And we got their endorsement, because they said it's heart healthy. And like when you talk about like performance for athletes, I'm amazed how many people more and more are looking to different alternative diets, and they're saying, well, if this is healthy for me, so it's not factory farm, it's not everything else. If it's good for me, it's going to be good for my body. So I think we're seeing an uptick.
And to kind of piggyback off of that conversation, inflammation is a big buzzword in the health and fitness community now. Through the diet, the standard American diet that we've had for the last 3-4 decades, we found that a lot of the foods we're eating are pro-inflammatory. Meaning they cause a general inflammation over the entire body. And when you look at the meats that people would buy in a regular supermarket, you talk about omega-6 or omega-3 fatty acids. The profile in those meats isn't conducive to what our body needs because they're not fed their natural diet. They're fed corn, they're fed scraps and garbage, and that comes out in the meat, and then we ingest that.
Yeah.
Now something with like what you have here, either with the bison or the Piedmontese beef, because they're fed their natural diet and allowed to roam in the natural environment, their fat profile is where it should be. So it's actually beneficial to us.
Right.
And from an endurance athlete perspective, inflammation is one of the biggest killers of performance.
Yeah,
Because you're
especially
constantly
day
pounding
in,
the
day
body.
out. You're just never recovering. And if you're having inflammation on top of that from foods that you're eating, you're
Exactly.
just...
That's
yeah.
a systemic problem
Yeah.
as well. not to mention gut health. I
Yeah.
mean, that's something else that
that we've been looking into more and more, but just like the distress that has, and then like when you're trying to exercise for 3 hours and put stuff into your body and you can't tolerate
Right.
it. Well, if you're not taking care of your body the other 21 hours of the day that you're
Right.
not, then how are you supposed to tolerate anything?
For the
when
couple
you're-
of hours that you're doing. Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
and even the amino acid profiles, you know, which are the building blocks for muscle repair, tend to be much better in a free range or organic meat than it would be out of something you buy in the store.
You know, I think the overriding theme really is a lot of, just like if you have like a high-end sports car, you have to put high-test fuel in. So
Right.
that
Right.
those
That's a good
beers
point.
as clean as possible. And I
Right.
think the athletes we see, what if they're ingesting needs to be the cleanest possible food in the purest form of it, without all this, added stuff. And I think, the brand you've established here and the products you have, fit that profile.
It does.
100%.
It does.
Really.
I would probably say, if anything, people's concern, they know the health benefits, they know all these things. Like, well, how do I cook it? How do I prepare
That was going to be one of my questions. Yeah.
Right? Like, how do I
It's like,
prepare it?
how do I, like, to what grade should I cook this?
Right.
I
Well,
don't know.
let's put it this way. Do you like to cook?
Somewhat.
Okay. Do you know how to cook a piece of steak?
Yeah.
Same way. Right. Except why? I'll let you guys answer. If something is lean and has low fat, what do you want to do? You want to cook it rare to medium rare,
Yeah.
a little less, right?
Yeah.
What do you say, Ben? You can always what?
Put it back on.
You can always cook it a little more, right? You can't undercook something that's been overcooked,
Right.
right? So we find people say, well, how do I prepare it? Ben can describe what he just did here with
Yeah.
the
So
bison.
this is our grass-fed bison. Nutritionally, it's called the leanest red meat other than ostrich. You can get it's got a lot of flavor. This is strip loin and silver simple salad. And so when we talk about nutrition, my standpoint with the proteins and meat carries is they're pure, they're clean, they're all source identified, all of that. But you get out of your body what you put into it. The animals get out of their bodies what they put into it, what you turn get out of that protein.
Right.
You start with pure clean ingredients. You don't need to do much of just season it, cook it right, don't mess it up. But with the lean red meats especially, you want to keep it on that rare meat for a second. You're going to get all that protein back out of it. You're going to cook the protein out of it by cooking all the blood, all the moisture out of it. And you get the actual flavor of the grasses and the greens that they actually eat. So this is bison strip loin, arugula salad with roasted tomato vinaigrette. Super simple, super light, good for the season.
I'm going to promise you something. This is not going to suck. Okay?
It's like trying to control myself.
I'm automatically going to say that. Right. I'm automatically going to say that. I'm going to go on record that it's not going to suck.
We have it on
Right,
footage.
speaking about taste too, a lot of people that are trying to transition from, a standard diet to one that's a little healthier say, I just don't like the taste of it.
Yeah.
Right.
They have a problem with the taste or the mouthfeel. And I can say after eating your products for years
Right.
that this isn't hard to do because it tastes great.
Right.
It tastes phenomenal.
Appreciate that. That's good.
So-
It's good to know. It's good to know all the hard work you put in pays off something.
Yes.
It's going to pay off right now. I don't know what to do.
8. Okay? Dig in. You guys eat.
Go, Brian, go.
Go, Brian, first.
Somebody's got to be first.
Brian's first.
Hopefully you came.
What's the strangest, or what you would consider maybe someone to, I'm sure you get asked this question a lot, what's the strangest thing you guys have gotten in, prepared, or sell?
Ooh, that's
Some of the more exotic
Yeah.
proteins.
And maybe a benefit.
Camel,
Okay. I saw that, camel
Rattlesnake.
meatballs on your Instagram.
Yeah.
rattlesnake, python. Those are probably like on the extreme side of the
I would say kangaroo.
kangaroo.
Right.
Yeah.
Kangaroo, though, is probably one of the healthiest meats in the world. That's what it's 99.9% fat.
Really?
How's that?
Unbelievable.
The silence is a good thing.
That's a good thing.
I took a big bite. That was incredible.
Very lean. So
I would eat that every day.
the bison right there, that strip loin, it's got to be probably ranging around 97, 98% lean. Heart healthy. Did anybody have breakfast? Because that was a
I'm
mistake.
always hungry. It's fine.
It's only a 3-course lunch.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, one more fork.
Yeah.
Did you? I
Oh,
don't.
it's right here.
Oh, that's okay.
Like, no BS.
You know what?
That
Yeah.
is fantastic.
I did something very good. Usually, when we're tasting, I'm usually the first one to taste. Why? Because I love this stuff so much.
Yeah.
So
That's unreal.
I held myself in. I held myself back.
You could,
I did.
you could allow our guests to enjoy.
That's the whole idea. Right?
When's the last time you cooked something that wasn't of good quality? Like
Another
something that you
popular-
bought and like.
I've been working for Costa Farms for almost 10 years now. I was a customer for 5 years before that. So, it's been about 15 years. But, I mean, as a chef, you know, coming from the restaurant world and now getting onto the sales, marketing, and food distribution side, like, you want high quality.
Yeah.
You don't need to, all that was on that steak was a little bit of salt and pepper. That was it. So,
It's amazing.
the flavor is in the products.
Yeah, the natural flavor. I mean, tasting something like that's
Yeah.
I'd rather
like
get a
next
higher
level.
quality product and let
Yeah.
it speak for itself.
Sure,
that's what I mean.
That's,
This
that's
make-
all that was
this
on.
makes your life easy.
Salt and pepper.
I need to verify that.
You know what, Brian? Let me grab my fork and I'll help you with that.
We're gonna send it back down anyway.
Keep in mind, he's got 2 more courses
Yes.
going.
Well,
right?
my whole thing is I'm a big red, like I love red meat, and I've started to eat, like Brian's gotten me into eating bison and stuff like that. And now that I know you guys are right here, like down the road, like I'll be stopping in all the time for my
Sweet.
meal prepping. But
We will welcome you gladly.
yeah, that is the flavor on that. Is just
It-
So, I mean,
Salt
I
and pepper,
call
that's
it like,
nuts.
if you think about it, I mean, that's America's original red meat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
You know, another big topic in the health and fitness and performance industry is ketogenic diets. I mean, diets in general, but ketosis seems to be a very popular thing going around the circles right now, even for endurance athletes. And, you know, with a ketogenic diet, it tends to be very heavy in fats and heavy in proteins and very minimal in carbs. So if you're dosing your body with that much more fat and protein than a standard diet, why wouldn't you want to do it with something that's
Right.
completely clean, like, you know, with a product like this?
Clean as the kid.
Clean as a cake.
And I'm sure more readily utilized by your body. I mean, I would love to see comparisons of somebody like performance-wise eating this
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
for a week and
You
then
know what? That's a really good.
regular stuff, or like somebody that's in pretty good shape but like is just eating regular supermarket bought stuff and then changing their diet and this is the only thing. It's like
You only
let's
have
just
to
change
look
the
at
proteins.
the Inuit and you look at the heart disease
Right.
rates. All they eat is blubber and meat, and their heart disease is one of the lowest in the
Right.
entire world.
If
You know, it's
you look at like, you know, there's so much more allergies now, right?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're living
Yep.
in an ultra sanitized world, and it applies to our food system too. And so when you have bison or beef that's raised without antibiotics or hormones or steroids because they're raised in a clean environment, all of that medication, all of that unnecessary medication the animals are
Right.
taking is sanitizing the meat, right? You go back 40, 50 years ago, we were all eating a hunter-gatherer diet. Right?
Yeah.
Like pheasant and duck, game meats were everyday fare.
That's a great point. I didn't even think to bring that up, is the hormones and the antibiotics.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a lot of people are now antibiotic resistant because of all they've been dosed their entire life.
Yeah.
Not only that, the hormones in the meats can be pro-carcinogenic.
Yeah.
You know, the growth hormones they put in and things like that you're not getting in something that's more free range.
That's correct.
That,
Do you want to speak about your bone broth products, and then we'll get into.
So we started experimenting with a couple of different things, and you guys are actually our first guests in the kitchen.
oh wow. Okay.
You know,
You're
thanks
on.
again
Thanks,
for
guys.
being here.
That's awesome.
But one of the things that we're really excited about is we're commercial grade kitchen. We're actually starting to play around with some prepared foods, doing a different twist on unique things
Yeah.
for our retail store as well. And you know, we're taking what would normally be a normal bone broth. You know, we're going to kick it up a little bit and do it differently, a healthier way, with bison. You know, or free range pasture raised chicken. Ben has come up with a couple of different recipes that he's been playing around with.
I mean, it's kind of a luxury that we have that, you know, we have
Good
full line of all entities, and we have a full staff of culinary
You're not hungry.
chefs.
You just ate these things. Sorry.
But we also have this facility now in a retail store where we can marry the product line we already have, the culinary talent that we have within our entire team, and produce prepared foods for the public. So bone broths being one of those things, all that'll be available in our store. Chicken, bone broth, beef, bison, pork, duck, will all be bone broths that we cover
That's
in our
awesome.
store.
And it's not going to be made on a commercial scale.
Right.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
being made here in
Yeah.
our kitchen, you know, in
Yeah.
small,
Yeah.
unique batches.
Complete,
Small
complete
batch.
scratch. You know,
Yeah.
we're not buying anything and reselling it.
Right.
When we prepare food, we're making our process with high quality whole grains. And so with bone broths, the soups, the prepared foods, like we're trying to put healthy, all natural products made by hand from scratch affordable. Because not everyone feels comfortable picking up a wild boar shoulder and taking it to braise it and pull it and make a wild
Yeah.
boar ragu. We'll do that for them. You know, and that way it makes it easy. And we're in a completely mobile society, right? Everyone's always on the go. And I got like 2 kids are hard to see. I went for my 2 kids who were at one event or whatever. To be able to grab a meal that you trust is made with care, and it's clean and it's natural, be able to heat it up in 5-10 minutes and have an outstandingly healthy meal for you. I think there's value in it. There's not a lot of that out there.
Crazy amount of
Big
value.
time. Yeah, 100%.
You know, I think if you look at some of the, you know, the newer trends, people used to throw away the skin, the bones, you
Yep.
know, the organs, and you know, everything basically but the meat. And that's kind of a new thing, because if you look at, say, the American Indians, they ate everything.
Everything.
Yep.
Now, we didn't have any epidemiological studies back then testing for heart disease and
Yeah.
things like that, but I'll bet you they were pretty healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and as regards to the bone broth, you're getting some collagen in there, and they found with recent research that, you know, especially if you increase blood flow with exercise, you're actually getting some of those benefits that actually reach your connective tissue. You know, so if you have an activity where you're really kind of pounding on your knees
Yeah.
and your ankles, you can kind of hold off some of the injuries that you might see otherwise. You know, or repair damage that's already there.
And just from a personal standpoint, like my wife, you know, we make a lot of soups and things and stuff like that, and she's always looking for some type of natural. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
To now have it, you know, come here and have a product that
Right. Speaks to what you need.
like, and that, you know,
It's amazing. You know, they say you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
You know, by educating us on just even the benefits of what bone broth does and how it is.
Right.
Never really would have thought about that. You know, we look at utilizing the animal from, you know, head to tail, from snout to tail, nose to tail. You know, and the fact that we can utilize it. You know, Grandpa said, never throw anything away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Never throw anything away. Well, in this respect, we can kind of use everything back
Yeah.
down to the basics. So what do we got here, Chef?
Ready for course number 2? So this is ostrich fillet. So 99% fat free. And it's just with a beef puree, a salsa verde, and like a little saute of potatoes and fennel and corn and peas. So light, simple, flavor forward. The ostrich itself, like you'll taste the minerality of what it needs, which is mostly alfalfa and clover. But from a nutritional standpoint, ostrich is at the top. From a heart healthy standpoint, ostrich is
Right at the
pretty
top.
much the best red meat you can eat. Yes, it's a poultry product,
But red.
it needs to be treated like a game meat, like a red game meat, so you don't want to cook it much.
that's interesting. I would never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a bird, so it is technically
Yeah.
poultry.
But it is a red
It's
meat.
a dark
That's
red
cool.
lean game meat, so you need to really cook it to that medium rare medium. Much past that, it's going to dry out, so there's no fat.
You know what I find interesting from a physiological standpoint, you know, what makes a meat red or white, especially from a poultry standpoint, is usually the type of muscle fiber that you're
Okay.
finding, whether it's slow twitch or fast twitch. Slow twitch, you're going to find a lot more vascularization, a lot more mitochondria, and that's what gives it its color. That's why when you get a chicken, the dark meat's on the legs,
Right.
because they're running around on their legs all day. It's
Right.
the slow twitch fibers.
Right.
The flight muscles, which chickens don't really fly, but they flap hard and fast and short, and
Yeah.
it's more white meat because it's more fast twitch.
That makes sense.
Never thought about that. Thanks,
You're-
Brian.
what's going to be unique with this too is if you taste it, that it has a liver type of taste. What you're actually tasting is iron because it's so high in iron. Okay. You would taste the same type of livery taste in beef, but you don't because the fat covers it up. So what you're really getting here is something that's pure red meat. Who's going first?
Oh, we're going here.
Brian's
going
not
this
gonna,
way, right?
Brian's
Brian
not gonna
was
pass it
chewing.
back after he gets it, so he's sending it down to us.
Where do you raise your ostriches?
So yeah, it's interesting. We actually raise them about 35 miles away from this location.
Oh.
Yeah. So my brother has a farm in Lafayette, New Jersey called Roaming Acres that he raises most of our ostrich. And these birds, they get about 7 to 8 feet tall. They weigh 350 pounds, and they'll kill you. I mean, they kick it over 100 miles an hour, but they taste really good.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Isn't that terrific?
Oh my god.
So it's very clean, very high in iron, very low in fat. Has lower fat calories and cholesterol than skinless, boneless chicken and turkey.
Wow.
So when they say it as the healthy red meat alternative,
Yeah, but it still has that kind of like a red meat
Filet,
texture and feel
filet,
to it. Yeah,
yep,
it's fantastic.
so when we started Fossil Farms, this was really the introduction to it, like to really get it out there. People say, well, how did you do it? Well, we went out there and did the grind. We went out and just pounded on the doors, and whoever would listen, we'd do shows, and we'd get people to try it. And what was interesting is like year one, we'd do these food shows and just trade shows, and people would be walking by, be like, oh, I'm not trying that. We'd have to drag them over. And then once they tried it, they had the same type of experience you guys just did.
Yeah.
But what was really fun was the second year we'd go, they'd be like, heard about ostrich, let me try it. Third year, people were, it was like a row deep. By the fourth year, we were like 4 or 5 rows deep. So then we're like, we might have something here where it's not going to be the everyday norm, but for people that care about what they're putting into their body from a health nutritional standpoint and for something to taste good. Maybe this is something
I think
different.
you guys were so far ahead of the curve as far as where things are nowadays, and
Yeah.
it's really unbelievable to
Definitely.
have that
That's the fun part about
kind
it,
of
right?
foresight to see all that. I mean, now the foodie world is like so crazy now with social media and everything. It's become its own whole thing. Like I have
15 years
friends
ago, you
that
weren't seeing that.
I have friends that would eat like Captain Crunch and stuff when we were in high school, and now it's like they're in this whole foodie world.
Yep.
Where they're like, oh, I won't
I
eat
remember.
there, I won't eat here because it's got to be farm raised, farm to table. This whole idea,
Right.
And you guys, like you said, you were
We saw that vision before it was.
like
We
toughing
did.
it out the first couple weeks.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was growing up as a kid, my parents were in their own business, and all we knew was what fast food was. And when my parents did cook, my mom used to burn everything.
Yeah.
Like even when we go to restaurants now, I order my French fries well done, burnt. My garlic bread's got to be burnt. I'm used to mom's cooking.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until we actually started going out to
Yeah.
restaurants and eating, like, wow.
Well, then I could cook for you.
You see?
There it is, Bert.
But definitely like these meats. I mean, I've been to some like really high-end, steakhouses and things like that. But like, honestly, the flavor of this is so
Great.
next level.
Yeah.
So they talk a little bit about sustainability, right? They talk about health nutrition, which is basically sustainability for our bodies, right? But sustainability on a broader scale in the food system, what's happening is all this industrial confined feeding operations. It's all about increasing profits, right? And so as consumers, the biggest tool we have for change is our food in our wallets, right? What do we choose to buy? Like we're talking about the food economy. But when you go to most restaurants, your options are chicken, beef, salmon, maybe pork.
Yep.
The reality is that there's a whole cornucopia of other proteins out there that are healthy for us, that are raised sustainably, that are not broad stream, right? They're not available on every single shelf in every single restaurant. As consumers, as chefs, as food distributors, as people that care about who we are and what we do and the choices we make, by choosing these alternate proteins, we take less demand, less pressure off of the big three, the commodity beef industry and the chicken industry, and it kind of like change. It causes that change that we all kind of think we want and think we can do.
Yeah.
But all we gotta do is just choose different.
Yeah.
Choose to try it different and try a different protein, because then that allows that farmer or that producer to succeed, and it takes less pressure off of because that's the way things are now, right? 40, 50 years of industrial agriculture, which has its benefits and its pluses. You know, from a consumer level, like, we can make the change, you know, just by making the right decisions and thinking where that effect actually happens.
Yeah.
And
that's
being
kind of
able-
like where our product line, that's
Yeah.
what we're about. Yes, we carry, you know, unique grass-fed beef and local natural poultry, but 90% of our product line is different ostrich, bison, venison, and all the other proteins. So like, I have a lot of fun trying to educate consumers and
Yeah.
chefs on, like, no, seriously, like, you should put venison on your menu. This is why. You know, you should put something else on your menu. And it's happening. It's slowly changing. You know, but at the ultimate, at the bottom levels of the consumers, this is where that change.
And I think like you guys too, I mean, our philosophy, it's something my father taught me when I said we were going to go into business. He said, okay, have fun doing it. That was the key, have fun doing it. But like you guys, I don't think you want to be the biggest, but you want to be the best at what you do. And that's really holds true to what we do and how we feel and how we really run our operation, work with our farms. Is we don't want to be the biggest, we just want to be the best at what we do.
You can only sustain a certain quality,
That's right.
And that's what
just to a
happens.
certain degree.
It's like we were talking about earlier, like that. As soon as that, I can't tolerate that. Even in the other business, the same way. Like, yeah, you could open up 20 of them, there's no problems. You know how to do it, but it's impossible. I don't care who you have underneath you to keep that quality that you hold your hat on and what got you to where you are
It's the uniqueness factor.
to begin with. And you know,
That's why it's hard to franchise good training or
Right.
you know, good restaurants. You know, when you get a good restaurant, they might have only 3 locations.
Right.
yeah,
Because it's very hard to replicate that.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with staying at a certain tempo, at a certain size,
Right.
and being okay with it.
Yeah.
And remaining the best, I
Right.
think.
Yeah, I
Say
think
what
that
you
you
feel.
take that pride in being, I know what we provide is the best possible product out there. Like that's, like for me, like what we do, I think that's where I get enjoyment. You know, wealth is great and everything, but for me, it's knowing that we've set this bar and this is now the standard.
Right.
And that we take pride in keeping it that way.
Right.
That's what's
And
great
people-
about social media is like you can stay in your, you can keep it local and you can stay in your own niche, but you can show the world
Right.
and show
Right.
everybody else like this is what we should be doing and like
Yeah.
here mimic me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right,
Like,
yeah, maybe
Right. Go
inspire
ahead and
somebody
try.
else.
Right.
Right.
And it's almost like you said with even just like large farms. It's, you know, if you get people to buy the alternative, you're keeping it local, the food's local, it's all about local, but you could affect it on a global scale.
Exactly.
So, and I think that's like a huge factor.
Do you want to talk a little bit, just give a rundown of all the different types of exotic meats you have?
Oh, exotic. What's
Just a quick-
from A to Z. You know, I mean,
Well-
we can be here for a while.
You know,
From
like, yeah.
Alligator all the way to you know. Yeah, I mean, we do everything
Alligator to
from
zebra?
Well, you can't say zebra. That's not
so against the
allowed.
law?
You know,
No.
that's a little bit offensive to some people. But kangaroo,
Okay.
you know, or rattlesnake, camel, you know, something a little bit different. But we do antelope, we do elk, we do ostrich, we do emu. You know, emu is a very cousin of the ostrich as well. Venison, wild boar, pheasant, all the different game birds that you can think
I love
of.
wild boar.
Yeah.
Wild boar is like the
I was-
nutty pork. you
My
know?
wife's uncle lives in Italy, and like in like the Tuscany area, and
Yeah.
I've never had boar before. And we were out, and they use a lot because there's so many. They hunt
Unbelievable.
so much, and I was like, this is unreal.
Right.
This is so much better than
So
pork.
exactly what's
Oh,
being
yeah.
done in Europe is now starting to
okay.
happen over here, where
Yeah.
the people are going over there and they're trying like, well, why isn't it around here?
That's what happened to me. I mean, this was, you know, going back maybe 10 years ago. And I was like, this is the flavor of this is so much better.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah.
people say, well, what is wild boar? It's pork with a little nutty flavor
Yes,
to it, you know,
exactly.
because of that
Yep.
inconsistent diet. But
Yeah,
again,
before there was pork, there was
right, that's
Right.
exactly right. You know,
Yeah.
before there was pork, there
Yeah.
was
Yeah, I used to
wild
get the
boar.
bacon from you.
Right, the wild boar bacon. You know, but that's the other part is we take all these
Still get some before we
but we take all these unique products and then we can make a value added product to it, like the bacons, or we'll do different offcuts or snack sticks, you know,
Yeah.
or something. Or we're starting to play around with some different charcuterie and salami items.
Yeah,
you know.
that's what I had like a boar, like prosciutto, basically of
Yeah.
wild boar. I'm like, this is fantastic.
It-
I had that
it's out of this
I had
world.
that in Corsica and it was insane.
Well,
yeah, the flavor was so good.
you talk about good products, so this is what we're going to talk about next. Yes, we do exotics, but when we talk about natural, sustainable, all natural, free range, pasture raised, you've got your chicken, you've got your beef. You got your chicken, you got your turkey, you got your birds. But then there's the beef category, and everybody is so used to and accustomed, like, well, it's got to be certified Angus. I mean, are you eating Angus beef? They've done such a great marketing job with Angus beef,
Yeah.
but it's
Greatest
I remember those.
marketing program.
I remember that
It's on
marketing push in
everything.
like the late '90s, early 2000s was like nuts.
millions.
They have it at McDonald's, I think, right?
They did it. They did such
Like
a wonderful
Angus
job.
certified.
I'm going to tell you a secret.
Are you gonna talk about factoid?
Yeah, we're going to tell you the secret. Okay. How long have you been eating beef?
My whole life, 31 years.
You've always been eating Angus beef. Okay? You've always been eating Angus beef, right? Funny. But this right here is a different breed. It's called Piedmontese beef. So it's Italian. It's from Italy.
Yeah, that's
okay?
my first thought.
It's from the
Right,
Piedmontese region in Italy. And what they've done is back in the late 90s, they brought this cattle over to the United States, into Montana and Colorado to manipulate the Piedmontese region of Italy.
Yeah.
And these guys, they have a better life than you and I, okay? They're free range, they're grass fed, they're all natural. But what's unique to them and this animal is they possess a certain gene, okay? It's very unique. It's called the myostatin gene. That's the gene that made us grow as kids, okay? So it made our bone structure grow, our muscle structure develop. But at a certain age, in human beings, it shuts off. In these animals, it never shuts off. So if you go on Google and you type like Piedmontese beef, they look like they're on steroids. They look like they're absolutely massive, right? They look like they're jacked.
There's some
They're-
pictures of people that have, if they do like a myostatin knockout, they knock out that gene.
Right.
And
It's just
Yeah.
genetically huge.
it's unimpeded muscle growth.
But what does that do to this animal? Well, it makes the meat very, very lean, but very, very soft. And it's the healthy beef. So this is the type of beef that has, again, lower fat, calories, and cholesterol than skinless, boneless chicken. Very healthy, heart healthy. But after you eat it, I'm going to ask you the question of what are you tasting right now? And if you have you ever tried Piedmontese
No.
beef?
No.
Okay. So we get a lot of kick.
I've had it. That's why I'm waiting for you to get done talking.
Of course he's had it.
Okay, here's where I shut mouth and we insert food.
All right.
Go ahead.
I was kidding. Let's go try it first.
Go ahead, bro.
So this isn't corn-fed beef.
By the way, chef, this food is phenomenal.
But it's easy to do. You got good ingredients. So like in the U.S. especially, we're trained that fat is flavor, right? From a chef level, from a restaurant level, like you go in, you see USDA prime, dry age. Well, that's really good, right? It's just a lot of fat.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's something that's really unique to the U.S. If you go pretty much anywhere else in the world, they're not basing their animals' diet on corn. So this is not a corn-fed animal. It's grass-fed almost its entire life. It is given a grain finish like the last 90 days, but that's more oats and hay and barley and silage, like more of a natural grass diet. And the reason for that is just so we have a consistent product here. Right? There's not a lot of fresh grass in Nebraska and Washington, so we have to have that consistency. But you get the minerality
For sure.
of the grass.
It's so much more
that
Yeah.
it's like super leafy flavor without the fat.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How's
so
that
with-
taste on your palate?
Yeah, it tastes so much flavor.
Oh, it's so good.
So aggressive in a good way
And
in
it's
terms of like.
so soft.
Yeah.
Crazy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So, with this breed specifically, within beef, the flavor's in the flesh.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, it's not about the fat. And it's so buttery tender. It has flavor just coming out of the package. I mean, again, it's just a little salt and pepper.
What I like the best about it is like you can have, and in all these game mates, like people will say, I need a 12-ounce steak. Well, you can get a smaller portion and be full because of all the healthy aspects of it.
Yeah.
But when you have a steak like this size, like we could tear into this, at the end of it, you're not going to feel like you just had this huge steak just sitting in your stomach. You actually feel good. Like, wow, I can have dessert.
Right.
Yeah.
I
could have another steak.
Right, right.
That's what I would say.
I was actually going to
Good.
say, like, just from what we've been sampling so far, I'm like, I've had a decent amount of food.
Yeah.
from this, and I
Right.
don't,
Like-
You don't feel-
terrible
Oh, I feel great.
by any means.
Welcome to Fossil Farm.
Yeah.
Photos coming, so I'm glad you're pacing out.
But yeah, this is delicious.
Incredible. I don't know which one was the best.
Like that, like you're saying though too, with the beef with this minimal of the fat content, I can't believe it's that like that. I gotta read.
I know what I'm
Gotta
about.
read.
It tastes
Yeah.
like it
He's
was.
begging, he's like, come on,
I gotta-
man.
Texture of it feels like it was like
like I
soaked in
saw the
butter for
plate
days.
Yeah, well, I
once.
see Bill's hands.
I'm gonna
moving a lot.
recalculate
Usually-
my
He's
thinking
excited.
here. It's like
Oh my
Listen,
God.
July 4th is coming up, okay? Barbecues are ready.
Yep.
It's very simple to throw on the grill, you know?
Nope, I was just gonna go small.
Yeah, I would grab a small piece, but
You'll just grab a second.
And you just go back for more anyways.
it's awesome.
All right, you're gonna have those two, okay? I'm just gonna take the little piece,
Good man.
okay?
You really need blood tonight.
it's because Brian's a little.
We have
That's why I had
guests.
to sit next to you and not Bill.
Like I would have to venture to say once you stand this up, like other customers,
Right.
I would not buy beef, regular beef again. I would have that.
I'm actually
Hands
gonna
down.
say, on the record, I won't be buying regular.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
anymore.
I don't know why like a restaurant owner would not just put this on their menu and be like, here's our steak, and
They're-
like just let it speak for itself.
Part of it's price.
Right.
Yeah.
Part of it
That's
is
reality.
cost. I mean, to raise a unique breed of cattle the way that it's raised, with the standards that it's raised, it costs more money, right? Like the conventionally raised beef, the certified Angus beef of the world,
Yeah.
they're raised on feedlots and fed corn and candy because it's cheap.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
economics work. And so, but again, it's the same thing, like consumers drive the demand, and then the food outlets, the supermarkets, the restaurants
Yeah.
respond to that demand. And that's where the real paramount shift comes.
Yeah, once you sample this, and if, like, I would pay premium at like a
Right.
steakhouse or something like that. If I saw it on there, I'd be like, this should be more money than
Right.
some of
See,
this
but what
other
it just did
stuff.
was the next time you're out at a restaurant and you see Piedmontese beef on the menu,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, you know what,
That's
I
it,
had
that's
that. I gotta do that.
You're gonna
yeah.
tell every person you're at your
That's right.
table
Like,
with.
Next time you have another steak,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
can't-
always a Piedmontese.
We do that all.
sorry.
We do that. We do that all the time. Like, well, I'll go out to dinner, and my wife knows. I mean, they're like, I'm kind of maybe I'm interested in a steak, and then she'll say, why are you going to do that? You're going to disappoint yourself. You're setting
throw
yourself
money
up for
away.
failure. You
Yeah.
know. And
I mean,
no, it'll be good. It's a good restaurant, and it could have the best restaurant. It could be the best chef.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, you get the steak. I take a bite, and I'm like, it's not
Yeah.
Piedmontese.
Yeah, no, real honestly. It's delicious. That's how I got when I had boar. And anytime I see boar on a menu somewhere, I'm like, all right,
Or try it.
I'll try it again
Yeah.
because I like it that much.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with good food.
No.
That was amazing.
Oh, this is awesome.
Thank you guys so much for having
Thank you
us.
so
and
much
thanks
for
for
hosting
feeding
us.
us.
Thank you for coming. So there's one thing that you're gonna have to do for me before you leave.
Yeah.
Okay? You're gonna have to get Jen. I'm gonna have to take a group photo under the hood. Okay?
Absolutely.
Is that okay?
I think that's easy
Yeah,
enough.
that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
as long as we get the sticker longer, I'll do it.
I think we'll all be coming back.
Real quick, thanks everybody for watching.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
come to
you so
Fossil
much.
Farm.
Check out Fossil Farms on Instagram, Facebook. I'm gonna put all their stuff on the bottom.
Links below.
And come check them out. They have an amazing product,
amazing.
and obviously you saw the quality. So
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you.
This
Thank
will
you
all
very
be
Life changing.
This will all be done.
Yeah,
1 minute.
Fantastic tail like that.
I imagine you're trying to